Micah, man.
You do every time you open your mouth. I kill you.
Oh. Okay.
You ain't giving Micah a fair chance, AOC.
I get it.
Well, why you keep making all these hate ass videos?
I mean, I'm not hating on that dude, man. He just needs to chill out, bro. He just be talking too much. I don't know, man. I'm just tired of all the foolishness, bro. I just want these boys to focus on ball.
He only potting once a week, AOC. He ain't like you. It's once a week. How you know he ain't focusing on ball? D-Law and them hating.
Well, everything ain't gotta be hate. So how you know D-Law and Malik them ain't just trying to give Micah no good advice, man? Damn.
And how you know they ain't been hating? And he ain't had no veteran to go to even get some good guidance, man. You ain't looking at it from his side.
Damn, you got a point.
Nigga, I know.
You got a point.
Fix it, AOC. Fix it.
All right, well, you're right. I guess I do need to.
Make sure that I see all sides of this discussion and be fair to Micah Parsons, because now what we know about that Dallas Cowboys locker room is it was in fact fractured. Now what we know about that Dallas Cowboys locker room is the only veteran presence that was really available for a Micah Parsons to learn from, to really look up to as an NFL vet that's kind of been there and done that as far as what he was attempting to do coming into the league as a pass rusher and be successful in Demarcus Lawrence. It seems as if that relationship was one where Micah really didn't have that veteran presence available. Micah really didn't have that relationship open to him to be able to really learn and mature the way that we may see some of the other players in the league maturing. And that's honestly, that responsibility falls at the feet of everyone involved. The Jones family for making sure that they don't have veterans in place to bring in younger guys and really bring them along in a healthy culture and teach them how to be pros. It's really on Demarcus Lawrence for not putting his ego and pride to the side, regardless of if he didn't like Micah Parsons as a person, regardless of something Micah Parsons did may have rubbed him the wrong way. He should have put his ego to the side. He should have made sure he did what was done for the betterment of the star, and that was bring along the young up-and-coming superstar in Micah Parsons, a guy that has generational talent, hasn't achieved generational status just yet, but has the tools to do so. And Demarcus Lawrence failed in doing that, and it also falls on Micah Parsons for, I guess, not being the bigger man amongst a bunch of adults and amongst a bunch of people older than him, quite frankly, to foster those relationships. And that's where you take a step back and you just say, you know what? This is the perfect time for a fresh start for Micah Parsons, for how the fans view Micah Parsons, for the relationship between the two parties. This is the time for a fresh start because we know that the environment that he grew up in was tainted. We know the culture that he grew up in was tainted, and we know that that was going on for a very long time now. And you know what? I think that that's unfair to Micah Parsons, and that's why I'm taking a step back and being like, you know what? I'm going to let bygones be bygones. I'm not going to worry about the stuff that he's done up until this point. I'm not going to worry about any of the things he said. I'm not going to worry about any of that stuff because, to be quite frank, man, that dude has been in that locker room outside of his friends, outside of his buddies, the guys that really mattered the most that he needed to be close to, the veteran leaders, the veteran star players, Demarcus Lawrence, one of our best players, the best player on our defense for the last decade, essentially. Those guys didn't embrace him. Those guys didn't really bring him into the fold. And whether or not it was because Micah didn't want to be a part of the Hot Boys thing, whatever it may have been, that's neither here nor there. The important aspect of this is the young man didn't have the proper environment around him to grow up in. He didn't have the proper environment around him that had people looking out for him, looking out for his best interests, had people willing to talk to him, had people willing to really have an honest conversation with him, and people that he trusted enough to have an honest dialogue with him to be able to let him know, hey, young buck, maybe not that way. Or, hey, you know, I respect what you're doing, but maybe do this a little bit differently, or maybe keep this out of the discussion, whatever it may have been. Micah didn't have that. He didn't have anybody that he respected in that defensive locker room, and that's what matters because for the most part, in the locker room, man, the defensive players, they're going to flock to the other defensive players, and the offensive players are really going to communicate with each other for the most part, unless those guys just have a common thread outside the building or something. Just by proximity, most of the time, you end up spending most of your time with whatever side of the ball that you're playing, right? So Micah Parsons didn't really have anybody there. He didn't have that leadership figure, to be quite frank, to look up to. And whether it's fair or not, I think Demarcus Lawrence leaving was a good thing. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm not calling for anybody's job or anything, but anybody that felt the way about Micah that Demarcus Lawrence felt about Micah, they need to be gone too. And it's not like a negative chase him out of town thing, but it's just, this is the perfect opportunity for a fresh start. This is the perfect opportunity for Micah Parsons to be Micah Parsons, and there to only be the spotlight on Micah Parsons. And if Micah Parsons falls short, then it's on Micah Parsons. It's not on anybody else, because now this is officially his defense. He's now going to be a fifth-year NFL vet. He is now someone that can take that position, take that role as the elder statesman on that defense, and set the tone for what he wants his defense to look like. And Demarcus Lawrence had the opportunity here to do that here. And I think it's only fair that Micah Parsons gets that opportunity. And I'm going to allow him to have that opportunity without an enhanced level of scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? I know the influence of my platform. I know the influence of the discussions that we have on here. And I want to be fair to Micah, right? Because really looking at it from a human level, he was never set up to succeed on a interpersonal level within that locker room and just as a professional, to be quite frank, because he didn't have other pros around him that he respected, that he could see walk the shoes that he's trying to walk in, and they did it successfully. And that's why I feel like a guy like a Von Miller would be perfect to bring here, if not for the production, for the presence, for the level of professionalism that he would introduce to a Micah Parsons, and just kind of just giving him the rules of thumb. Von is another guy that's podcasted and has done it without really causing offense to his home organization. And just Von can kind of impart some wisdom, because at the end of the day, regardless of how smart Micah is, regardless of how all the great moves he may be making off the field, regardless of any of that, man, at the end of the day, everyone needs to be able to intake wisdom so that they can grow and learn and be better versions of whatever it is that they want to be, right? So with Micah Parsons, yes, the younger generation, they're going to podcast. Some of these guys, not all of them, I highly detest the idea that all of these guys think the same way, because we see too many examples of guys that don't think the same way for that to be true. But this younger generation of guys, they are going to move a little bit differently. And I guess now is just going to be the time where we see how that turns out, what it looks like when we have our defense, or one of the primary aspects of the Dallas Cowboys, being led by someone of that particular temperament, right? And I'm excited to see what it looks like. I think Micah Parsons' defense is probably going to be a more competitive version of the Dallas Cowboys defense. And I think Micah Parsons is ready for the challenge. And that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want there to be anything to where people look at me or look at my platform or look at the discussions we have as a community and feel as if we want to get rid of a Micah Parsons. And I think just being fair, especially being with all the stuff that's come out over the last weekend or so, and knowing there was some serious pre-existing personal issues between D-Law and Micah, being fair, I think this is the perfect chance for a fresh start for everyone. So with that being said, we're going to let it go, y'all. Cowboys fans, let's just unite it as one. Let's let it go right now. And if anything else happens, then we can have a discussion about that in a vacuum. But we're going to let it go for right now. And I think everyone deserves that fresh start. And who knows, this may be exactly what the doctors ordered for the Dallas Cowboys organization, is to allow these young guys to really kind of put their imprint on what this defense is going to look like specifically. But either way, how about them Cowboys? And you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about this discussion? Till next time.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.